Even in our modern vernacular, the word law has different functions. If I'm saying somebody practices law, what am I talking about? A lawyer. If I say somebody is an officer of the law, what am I saying? Usually you're talking about a police officer. Now it's a part of the same system, but they have different functions. And that word law in the Bible has two functions. The laws that were written by hand and the law that was written by the finger of God. When you come into the Bible, you have the law that was broken, which is sin. And then you have the law that was put in place because of sin. The sacrificial system in which there must be someone to die because you have sinned. So it's a part of the same system, but one law refers to that which is broken. Another refers to the law that was put in place because God's moral law was broken. So God didn't change his standard of morality. What he did was he paid the penalty for our sins and then gave us power through Christ to obey his moral law. The other things that were added because God understood that people were going to transgress. So he had to also have penalties and judgments for the people who were going to be governing the people to know what to do. You know, like there's a law in America if you break it, and then the judge can't just go in the back room and say, what should I do to this person? He has to go into the law books and see what the sentencing can be for these crimes. So God did the same thing. If a person does this, this is the penalty. So the judge is not free to just choose a penalty on his own. You never hear Paul saying that the 10 Commandments were a shadow. You always just hear the word law. And when people hear the word law, they just apply it to the 10 Commandments. Right. But there was another set of laws that Moses wrote with his hand, which were sacrifices, ordinance, gifts, meat offerings, drink offerings, that were a shadow of things to come, which pointed to Christ. And when Christ was to come, those are the things that were going to pass away. But the law that he wrote with his finger were actually now going to be written in your mind and in your heart.